Hi everyone, this is Miss Gooden here. Today we are going to be covering lesson 1.7, use place value to add, from the 3rd grade Florida Go Math textbook. If you are in my class, you should be filling out page 29 from your textbook. Here's our learning goal for this lesson. It says that you should be able to use place value to add 3-digit numbers. And this is what we would call maybe the old-fashioned way or the standard way. It's probably the way that your parents learned how to add and just kind of the basic addition. Here's our learning scale. You will notice that it's the same one that we've been working with for the last couple of days. So I'm really only going to focus in on this level 3, which is our target. You should be able to fluently add and subtract numbers using multiple strategies. Now, today we will also talk about how to regroup numbers when you're adding. So we are going to practice this level 1, but we need to be getting to this level 3 at this point. Here's our essential question for this lesson. How can you use place value to add 3-digit numbers? So at the end of our lesson, you should be able to tell me in your own words how you can use place value to add 3-digit numbers. Here's the Unlock the Problem from page 29 of your textbook. The word problem says Dante is planning a trip to Illinois. His airplane leaves from Dallas, Texas, and stops in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then it flies from Tulsa to Chicago, Illinois. How many miles does Dante fly? I can get some information here from this graphic that they've given me. I know that from Dallas to Tulsa is going to be 236 miles, and from Tulsa to Chicago is 585 miles. So I'm going to use place value to add these two add-ins of 236 and 585. To start, I'm going to estimate. So they have rounded 236 to the nearest 100, and that would be 200. And then when they round 585 to the nearest 100, that would be 600. So we're just practicing there some of the skills we learned in lesson 2 and 3 of this chapter. Now that I have rounded my numbers, I can go ahead and add 200 plus 600, that equals 800. So we're going to write 800 on the line here. And now we can actually jump into the exact numbers and adding those two add-ins. So first, I'm going to start in my ones column. We're going to be adding from right to left, the opposite of how you would read a book. We're going from right to left. So, step 1 is to add the ones and regroup the ones as tens and ones. So here I have 6 and 5. When I add 6 plus 5, that equals 11. I need to regroup 11 as how many tens and ones I would have. In the number 11, I have 1 10 and 1 1. So I write a 1 here in the ones column, and I carry a 1 over into the tens column. Now in step 2, I can add the tens. And then I'll need to regroup from there also. So I'm going to start with this 1 here that I carried over from my addition in the ones column. 1 plus 3 equals 4, and 4 plus 8 equals 12. I need to regroup 12 here. So I have 2 that I'm going to write in the tens place, and I'm going to carry a 1 also. Step 3 is to add the hundreds. I have 1 plus 2, that equals 3, and 3 plus 5 equals 8. So I write an 8 in the hundreds place. So my final answer for 236 plus 585 would be 821. So he flew 821 miles. Now this next part is having me assess the reasonableness of my answer compared to this estimation that I did up here. Since 821 is close to the estimate of 800, I know that my answer is reasonable. Now if we had done this actual addition here and I had like an answer of 8,000 or some far off number that was not close to 800, that would let me know that I probably did something incorrectly and I need to go back and look at what I did. Down here, it's giving me another strategy, and it says you can use the commutative property of addition to check your work. So this says change the order of the addends and find the sum. So in this example, I started out with 236 on the top, and here they've just changed it around where I have 585 on top here. We're not going to go ahead and re-add that because I already know that my answer is correct. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next problem. Now I would like you to turn your pages over and take a look at page 30. We're going to do the try this. And this time I'm going to be adding a 3-digit number, 563, plus a 2-digit number, 48. And we're going to do it in 2 different ways. First, I'm going to estimate. I can round 563 to a compatible number of 550 because those 2 numbers are pretty close. And I can round 48 to 50. And then when I add 550 plus 50, that equals 600. So I know that my final exact answer needs to be pretty close to 600. Here I'm going to use the break apart strategy that we learned in the previous lesson in part A here. So this is what I also call expanded form because when I'm breaking these numbers apart, I'm breaking them up into expanded form. So since I have a 5 in the hundreds place, that tells me I have a value of 500. I have a 6 in the tens place, that tells me that value is 60. And a 3 in the ones place tells me I have a value of 3. For 48, I have a 4 in the tens place. That tells me that I have a value of 40. And a 3 in the ones place tells me that I have a value of, an 8 in the ones place tells me I have a value of 8 there. So now I can add these 2 lines together. 3 plus 8 equals 11. I'll need to regroup this, but we'll get there in a minute. I can add 0 plus 0, that equals 0, and 6 plus 4 equals 10. I'll also have to regroup this, but we'll get there also in a minute. And then I have 500 plus, there's nothing here, which is basically like saying there's 0 there. So 500 plus 0 equals 500. Now I need to add these sums together. If I have 500 plus 100 plus 11, 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 1. And 5 plus 1 is 6. So my final answer will be 611. And I know that's a reasonable answer because 611 is pretty close to my estimate of 600. Now this could be a little bit time consuming and I can cut down on how long it takes me to add by just using place value like we're going to do here in part B. So first I'm going to add my ones. So I have 3 plus 8, that equals 11. I need to regroup that as 1, 1, and 1, 10. So I write a 1 in the ones place and carry a 1 into the tens. I add 1 plus 6, that equals 7, and 7 plus 4 also equals 11. So again, I'm going to write a 1 here and carry a 1. This is regrouping. Then I have 1 plus 5, and that equals 6. So again, I get 611, and I know that's a reasonable answer because it is close to my estimate of 600. Now, you can use either of these strategies, whichever one works best for you. We're going to continue and look at the problem underneath this. Okay, what I would like to do now is finish up this problem on page 30. Now I'm going to be adding 3 three-digit numbers. So for this first step in A, I have 140 plus 457 plus 301. They have given me some rounded numbers. They rounded 140 to 150, 457 to 450, and 301 to 300. So I'm going to stack these three numbers on top of each other and make sure that my place values are lined up to find my estimate. Okay, and I was talking about this earlier in a video, but you want to make sure that your place values are lined up, that your ones are all in a line, that your tens are all in a line, and your hundreds are all in a line, so you're not confusing anything. So here we go. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 plus 0 is 10. So since I have 10, I need to regroup that. That's like saying I have 10 tens. So I have a 0 in this place and a 1 that I'm going to carry over. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. And 6 plus 3 is 9. So my estimate will be 900. And I know that my final answer should be somewhat close to 900. So step 1 says to add the ones. So I have 0 plus 7, that equals 7. 7 plus 1 equals 8. So I write an 8 here. Next I'm going to add my tens. 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 plus 0 is 9. So I write a 9 there. Last I add my hundreds. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 3 is 8. So my exact answer when I add 140 plus 457 plus 301 is 898. I know that is a reasonable answer because it is close to my estimate that I got, and that was 900. And I would say that 898 and 900 are very close, so that would be a reasonable estimate there. Next, for part B, we're going to add 173 plus 102 plus 328. First, I'm going to estimate. They've rounded to the nearest hundred here. 173 rounded to the nearest hundred is 200. 102 rounded to the nearest hundred is 100. And 328 rounded to the nearest hundred is 300. So to do this, I'm just going to add the numbers that are in the hundreds place. So I have 2 plus 1, that equals 3, and 3 plus 3 equals 6. And then I can just fill in zeros for my tens and my ones place. So my estimate is going to be 600. Now let's take a look at step 1. It says add the ones and regroup the ones as tens and ones. So here I have 3 plus 2, that equals 5, and 5 plus 8 equals 13. I need to regroup this as tens and ones. I have 3 ones and 1 10. So I'm going to write a 3 under the ones column and regroup 1 into the tens column. Now I'm going to add the tens, and I'm going to start with the 1 that I carried over. So I have 1 plus 7, that equals 8. 8 plus 0 equals 8. And 8 plus 2 equals 10. So I'm going to regroup the tens as hundreds and tens. So here this means I have a 0 in my tens place and a 1 in my hundreds place that I need to carry over. Next I'm going to add my hundreds. I'm going to start with the 1 that I carried over. 1 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Sorry. 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So my final answer is 603 when I add 173 plus 102 plus 328. I know that is a reasonable answer because it is close to my estimate that I found up here. Remember I had 600 as my estimate? 603 and 600 are very close to each other. So that is a reasonable estimate. Now it is time for us to write our secret code word. Today it is going to be apple. So write apple on your page. If you have any questions, please jot them on your paper or leave a comment on my blog. You are now officially done with your math homework for the day, and I look forward to finishing this lesson with you in class.